Good afternoon, I'm KHU11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are tracking some heavy rain falling across Houston, and we are starting to see some flooding concerns in some locations, as we've seen up to 2 to 3 inches of rainfall has already fallen within the past couple of hours. Here's a live shot looking over the Galleria. This is on top of the KHU11 studios. Just seeing that heavy rain that has been persisting at least for the past 30 to 40 minutes. As we look at other locations, especially along our area highways, we could see looking at mostly clear conditions out in downtown. 45 looking not too bad, but you're able to see in the distance of those clouds that are currently just gray and very ominous looking as we go into the rest of our evening. Radar right now looking at this storm. There is a flood advisory that has been issued from the National Weather Service that does include a portion of Houston. That's going to be in effect until 5 o'clock this evening. There's also a special weather statement that was in effect. I believe the National Weather Service did allow that to expire, but we are seeing some wind gusts between 20 and 40 miles an hour with these storms, and we can't rule out some pea-sized hail with these storms as we progress through the next maybe 30 to 40 minutes. Rain has been falling in this location at least for the past few minutes as we head into looking at the loop here. This is for the past hour. Rain hasn't really left this area, and so that's really going to cause some of those roadways starting to become flooded as we go through the rest of the afternoon. So that could be shaping up to have a pretty messy commute home if you are out and about. So be extra cautious on those roadways. We still have a lot of lightning with these storms that are currently in over Harris County. There is another special weather statement that the National Weather Service has just issued. This is for northeastern Harris County. This does include Patton Village, Porter Heights, and Roman Forest, with wind speeds up to 40 miles an hour and hail size up to quarter size in diameter for areas northeast of Houston. So we're seeing these storms becoming more scattered. We are expecting this to linger at least for the next maybe hour or two. But as we look at the rain totals for the past 6 hours, we've seen up to close to now 3 inches of rain just inside the loop out in the Heights area, even just to the west of 45, 3.3 inches of rain. Areas just to the east of Antoine Drive, 3.1 inches of rain. That's just south of 249. So that rain falling that much in this short amount of time is definitely going to cause some ponding on roadways, if not some possible flooding on roadways. And that's the reason why the National Weather Service has issued that flood advisory that will be in place until 5 o'clock this afternoon, as we're still going to continue to track these storms. As we look at our feature track, we're going to continue to see these persist at least by 7, 8 o'clock. When we lose that daytime heating, that's when we could see this lighten up later on in the evening hours, and things are going to become calm. But we still have a good maybe couple of hours of these storms, and what we've seen so far is that we've seen this storm become pretty stationary, at least for the past 30 minutes. So looking at radar once again, if you're just now tuning in to see what we're looking at, we are definitely tracking heavy rain now still moving over Houston. It's looking more likely that this rain is sort of just increasing in size for the past 30 minutes to an hour. But as we look at looking at this storm just to the south of I-10, just south of the Addicks Reservoir, this is a little bit showing some possible hail just south of I-10. So if you are in the Katy area, you might want to just keep an eye out on this storm that's just to the south of I-10 that is moving north, I believe at about between 10 and 15 miles an hour. I'm going to go ahead and look at the hail parameters to see exactly if we do have some possible hail with these storms. It's looking likely that we're seeing just maybe some pea-sized hail along Highway 6. That's currently just to the south of Eldridge Parkway, even Briar Forest Drive. I think that runs north and south. And so we are expecting these storms to continue persisting at least for the next maybe hour or so as we get into the rush hour commute for folks that are heading home this afternoon. So storms becoming widespread. We have 2 special weather statements. I believe the National Weather Service has issued another special weather statement in place for areas that were just to the west of Katy. I think that one is about to expire, but the one that we are looking at as of now is this flood advisory that's in place for a large portion of Houston, and that does include areas in the Heights, even along 45 to the south of the Sam Houston Tollway, even along 290 in the north loop there. So as we've seen, up to close to 3 inches of rain have fallen in this location. So if you are out and about, or if you're planning to be out and about, might as well just maybe stay put for a while, because we are expecting the roadways to become pretty hazardous in terms of water over roadways, and that's what we're seeing right now. I'm looking over at Westheimer out the window, and we're seeing that water as the cars are driving through, and we're getting into the commute hours home, and so it's going to be shaping up to be a fairly messy commute. It's looking likely that as we look at the latest scans of radar, the rain is lightening up just a little bit, still pretty heavy, but the good news is that we are seeing this the lightning tracker sort of decrease. We're seeing less lightning with these storms. That's a good hint that this storm is weakening as we get closer towards the 4 p.m. hours. So something to keep an eye on is that we are shaping up to have a messy commute home with the widespread rain expected to last at least through the next hour or so, and things are going to become more scattered. So if you are in north of Houston, we could start seeing these storms start pushing northward, just north of I-10, maybe in Spring, along I-45, along 249, as we progress through the next maybe 30 to 40 minutes. And then we are expecting areas in Montgomery County. We're seeing heavy rain moving through there as well. This is Magnolia, just to the west of I-45. And so just keep in mind that it's going to be these isolated cells, and some of them could have the potential to become severe as we go into maybe the next 30 minutes to an hour. But as we lose that daytime heating, we will see these storms become weaker, and eventually the rain chances diminishing as we head into the evening hours. But just like I said, looking at these the rain accumulation that we've seen for the past 30 minutes to 45 minutes, we've seen close to 3 inches of rain in this location, especially just to the north of the loop, even around in the Galleria, just north of I-10, and that is definitely could see some road flooding in this location in terms of this is along Antoine, that's 290, that's the north loop, that's 45, and so 3.3 inches of rain near Veterans Memorial south of 249, and so just keep an eye out on some possible road flooding in those locations as we go into the next maybe 30 to 40 minutes into the 4 o'clock hour. But we are expecting a messy commute home, so be extra cautious out on those roadways if you do find yourself out and about, especially as we go closer towards the 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock hours. And as we look at our future track, we are expecting this to continue and eventually come to an end closer towards 8 o'clock and 10 p.m. Of course, we'll have the latest for you on the KHU 11 News at 4 p.m. and we'll be tracking the latest weather and the road conditions as we head into the newscast, and that's in about 20 minutes. I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your KHU 11 News weather update.